Hey, what's going on, guys? I just got to watching My Adventures Superman episode 5. So, three main storylines with our three main characters. Superman, he's trying to look normal, aka Clark Kent. Two, Lois, she has a pretty good fill-in on who Clark is. She's made connections, and now it's her time to see the truth. Three, Jimmy's being third wheel and he's upset about it. He is he's not really buying it yet. But yeah, he gets shrugged off for most of this episode. He has to hang out with Steve. And who wants to hang out with Steve? Steve goes on and tells him, "Hey, you're just the Steve of your group." And then he's going on about like Steve rules. That was like a big highlight of this episode too, of the comedic relief. Even though Steve sucks as a character, in this dynamic, it's actually pretty good, honestly. But Jimmy wanted to go Sasquatch hunting, and he's getting a call between Clark and Lewis. Basically, nothing to do with him, avoiding him at not at all costs. They just forget he exists, essentially. So Clark wants to confess to Lewis, and Lewis is asking about what Clark was doing during certain times to make more connections to the Superman. Anyway, Clark, Lewis meet up at work. This is where he is like, hey, we should work on a report together about the weapons that went missing. And they get the board out. It has to do with the Dr. Ivo and the weapons and the weapon suits and the live wire stuff. After that, he brings out this like radio, and you already know. The radio just tells you what's going on when it's just police calls, 911 calls, all of that. And this is where Lewis gets this idea to follow him because Clark begins to go in and out for bagels and cream cheese. And yeah, that's where they just Clark just is zooming as Superman. Lewis tries to follow, and eventually we get to a pretty big one, and this is a robbery. Another thing that happened between all this, which is important for the audience watching this episode, is a bunch of bad guys are doing a robbery. They get beat out by this bigger looking dude, and we don't really know who it is. We're just guessing it's like I thought it was gonna be Doomsday or something like that. But yeah, there's only so much Superman that I really know about. So yeah, that was the only thing I can think of. Anyway, after all that, we get to where Lewis is at the spot, sees Superman, asks about Clark, and she handcuffs herself to Superman. And Superman has to like dodge and do all that. The bad guys from earlier are they have like tech weapons. Essentially, they got tech weapons. We see a car in the background that's running off, and yeah, we're able to make that connection. Hey, the people in that car probably gave them the weapon, and yeah, just the live wire and Dr. Ivo type of connection. Anyway, they have like these like flamethrowers. One of them actually gets away while Superman and Lewis are arguing. This is where Superman finally goes, Lewis, you just need to stay put, and snaps the little thing because one of the bad guys actually got off. And yeah, before they burn down the city, he has to go get them. And they're dragged into this weird battle. So the bad guy with the flamethrower gets frozen, and this is where we're met with the fake Superman. So I forgot to say it, but I do suggest watching this episode just because cartoons they go all over the place, and this is still a cartoon, but a very good one, very high quality. Anyway, the bad guy gets frozen, and this is where we're greeted with big bad guy in the suit. During all this, we get to know it's what is it? What did they call him again? Let me look real quick. Uh, Agent Wilson, and I made the connection finally on who it is. It is in fact Deathstroke. It is Deathstroke. He's getting commands from this lady as well as this like soldier general. I don't know, and a bunch of the tech is being used. It's the white hair dude from earlier, and it's just like it's interesting. I don't know. I'm confused and I'm kind of loving it. So is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? The one soldier dude, he's actually not there. He's like a hologram or something like that. And he keeps commanding the robots to beat the crap out of Superman. And yeah, bridge gets destroyed, and this is where Superman has to do Superman things. Deathstroke, aka Wilson, gets ready to shoot him, but commanding officer's like, no, you can't shoot him, and the lady's like, oh, you better shoot him before the world ends. Between the big battle, he gets like a burn mark on his neck. After all this, the Wilson dude, he just like gives up and he's out of there. And that's basically the end of that. So now Superman, after saving everyone and fixing things up, goes back to the top of the building where he left Lois. And yeah, this is where Lois pulls a stunt. She jumps off the building, and Clark is not in Superman attire and has to save her. And now she knows she's mad, and the chances of those two being partners is like it's shattered. It's gone. They can't be partners anymore. No, they got to be. It's Superman. I mean, if he didn't have Lewis, is it really Superman? Now that'd be an interesting like off series or like a what if Superman series where he doesn't get Lewis Lane, and it's just I don't know. This is like a evil villain version of himself. Anyway, after all that, Jimmy, who wanted to go Sasquatch hunting, after no one wanted to come, finally goes out on his own. And I think this is important later on, maybe, because I saw a little bit of a preview that I shouldn't have. But he does in fact meet like a monkey-looking fella or some type of animal while Sasquatch hunting, and that's basically the end of the episode. So yeah, I kind of zoomed through it, kind of simplified it a little bit, but it's a fun way to get through it together. Honestly, a really good episode. 8 out of 10, I'll give it. I've never been sad about any of these episodes. They continue bringing the heat on, and I can see why this is still very successful. I am interested to see coming into the next few episodes what's going to happen. I know it gets really crazy. Season 2, I heard, isn't the better of the two, but that's because usually sequels they have more stabilization. They can't do as many crazy things. But I don't know. They might cook it up. We gotta see, guys. Anyway, my question of the day is, how do you feel about the relationship between Lewis and Clark now? Do you think they're doomed? I still think they're gonna have to get together. I mean, like, it's Superman. Anyway, guys, I hope you stay safe and peace.